ho, ho. Boy, it is playoff time. Week 1 of the playoffs. Are you excited? Okay, so we know why we're here. Trying to get some hardware. All right, that's why we're all here. Trying to chase that glory. Trying to get you a ring. Trying to get you a belt. Trying to get you a trophy. Whatever your league does, that is the goal. And that's why we're here. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get ready for round 1. All right. If you barely made it in, hey, you're in. It don't matter. In is in. So let's look at, first off, did you start Kyle Pitts this week? Good golly. Kyle Pitts, where has this guy been? 6 Foot Pigeons, what up? Help us beat Mick. All right. Hey, they're talking about Mick Lipper, who is one of the co-hosts here. Man. All right. Kyle Pitts, first off. Somebody who was I was real high on coming out. He was one of these high-end prospects. Let's see what we got. Tough one here. Odunze or Pearsall? Well, Odunze is back in. He's healthy. But man, Pearsall's tough. Well, first let me preface with I'm going Odunze on this, okay? But when it comes to Pearsall, I love what Pearsall does. My concern with Pearsall is the distribution in the offense. Now, CMC is questionable right now. Okay, as of right now, Christian McCaffrey is questionable. We'll see. I got a lot of things open, looking to see if he is going to be available. If he's going to be available, then that downgrades Pearsall a little bit. But if CMC is out, then that gives Pearsall a bump. Obviously, Pearsall and Kittle both a bump because they can catch the ball better short yardage than a Brian Robinson Jr. can. Because Brian Robinson Jr. is a real good downhill runner, but he's not real great with catching the ball in the backfield, which that's Christian McCaffrey's almost best asset right there. Raja. Hey, it's all I'm Army, baby, so love you. Hope you got your crayons ready for snack time. Is Jeff here? No, Jeff ain't here. My name Yev. Nah. So before we kick off, we are actually doing a jersey giveaway. You see the ticker at the bottom. We are doing at 200 subscribers. Okay, at 200 on Kingmaker Sports, which we're growing. This is awesome. Love this. So at 200 subscribers at Kingmaker Sports, we're doing a free jersey giveaway for one lucky winner. But you have to be subscribed at the Kingmaker Sports YouTube channel for that. Also, W Energy, powder-based energy. It's just something that we're doing. It's 10% off your order using code Kingmaker. No big deal. If you don't like using all the energy drinks that are out there on the market right now, that's cool. Go check it out. I like it. It's good. The blood orange right now flavor. What is it? The Chainsaw Man one, and then they got a lemonade one, which it's called a Japanese yuzu fruit. I like it. Tastes like lemonade to me. So, anyways, moving on. So back to Kyle Pitts. We had the Falcons and we had the Bucks playing on Thursday night. Had Kirk Cousins coming out leading the charge. Michael Penix still out with injury. So what we had here, it was so close. I mean, it literally came down to the wire. This was a fun game to watch. So looking at Kirk Cousins throwing for 44 attempts. They had Kirk Cousins' old butt throw 44 times against the Bucks. But he completed 30 of those. So that's pretty dang good, man. He had more completions than most quarterbacks have in attempts. So that's pretty good for Kirk Cousins. He went out there and kind of showed, hey, I still got it. I'm probably the best backup in the league, bro. Come out there, 373 yards. 373. You heard that right. Bro, 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Bro only took 1 sack for 8 yards. So when you go out there and you're throwing up 373 yards, obviously you got some really, really good pass catchers in Atlanta. All right, you got Bijan, who everybody loves. Amazing out of the backfield. For my money, I don't think there's a better all-around running back right now in the league than Bijan Robinson. Because, and now you look, some of you Christian McCaffrey lovers and stuff like that, I get it. Christian McCaffrey's amazing, but like he keeps having the injuries, so that's the reason why I'm leaning Bijan Robinson for like basically, best all-around running back for me. Mick, what's up, bro? So Mick, your competitor here, 6 Foot Pigeons, they're needing some help from us over at Kingmaker Sports to beat you. So I'll be interested to watch that matchup. So Mick's got a question this morning: JCM or Singletary with Christian Rodriguez out? So I'm gonna have to go JCM on this because just not crazy about the Giants and what they got going on. I think Washington's got a little bit better of an offense going on over there that JCM fits. I mean, he is kind of the reason that they shipped Brian Robinson Jr. out of town, because Cliff Kingsbury, their offensive coordinator, said, hey, I like this kid. He fits my offense perfectly. So they're going to give JCM all the opportunity if he's available. So I'm going to go Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt on this one, Mick, over Singletary. So hopefully that helps you with your matchup, man. Thank you for the question. And then, so with Kyle Pitts, man, he had 11 receptions, okay, on 12 targets. That's pretty dang good. So that's 11 points before anything else, before any yards, any touchdowns, anything. He's getting you 11 points. And 166 of those yards, that 373 of those that Kirk Cousins threw, 166 went to Kyle Pitts, and 3 big old touchdowns. This is the best performance of Kyle Pitts' career. I think I saw somewhere like, I don't know, 70% or something. I can't remember what the stat was, of like all of his fantasy points in his whole career were in this one game. So I thought that was pretty funny because everybody wants to believe in Kyle Pitts. We want to, man. We want to see Kyle Pitts be good. And we saw on Thursday against the Bucs that Kyle Pitts can do it. Kyle Pitts is good, man. But is Penix good for Kyle Pitts? Is the Falcons good for Kyle Pitts? We don't know. He's coming up due for extension. I haven't seen anywhere talking about his picking up his 5th-year option. But that's going to be interesting to see if they're going to – I think they will. But, okay, so I got a report right here that says Falcons exercise Kyle Pitts' 5th-year option. Okay, all right, so Kyle Pitts is good for now. So that's pretty good as far as they're going to retain him. They're going to be talking to bring him back and sign him long term. So JCM or Troy Franklin with Pat Bryant out. So look, I like Troy Franklin. So I have a little theory here. Okay. I heard somebody say this before and I got to thinking about it. And I was like, okay, starting running back, which JCM is today with Chris Rodriguez out. So he's got pretty much no competition behind him over any receiver that's not like an elite top tier receiver, which Troy Franklin's not. We all like Troy Franklin and everything like that, but he's not. So I have to go JCM again on this for you, Mick, because of that. Because the starting running back is always going to get the better opportunity, because you always have to factor in the goal line, the red zone, and JCM is super athletic enough to be able to, take it 20 yards to the end zone. So no problem there. I would go JCM on this. Drake May versus Buffalo or Jackson Dart versus Washington. For me, this is going to be Drake May. I like what Jackson Dart brings to the table, but I just don't think that he has all of his weapons right now. Now, if he had Cam, if he had Malik, then I would probably have to think about this a little harder on that. But Drake May is playing out of his mind right now. So I have to go with Drake May on this, even against Buffalo. Buffalo's defense is good, but they're not world beaters because Buffalo should put up points, which means Drake May is going to have to throw the ball and put up points. It helps that he uses his legs to get you a little extra, and that also helps in the red zone. He can scramble and possibly even for a touchdown, just the same way that we see Josh Allen do all the time. All the time. The good thing is, though, that Drake May for Fansville, right? Isn't that the one that does Dr. Pepper? So just the same way that Drake May, he's good at distributing the ball, but he can also use his legs. So I'm going Drake May on this one, man, against Buffalo. Hopefully that helps you out. So looking back at Thursday night's game, so we talked about Kyle Pitts with that. He got you about 50-plus points if you're in tight end premium. I mean, Kyle Pitts showed up, man. I do not think Kyle Pitts will ever have this production again. So if you had him on your roster and you were starting him, good for you. I mean, that's all I got to say. Like, you were forward thinking, good for you. See, as far as who all was starting him, like, were you starting him in your league? I know there was a bunch of my leagues that I'm in that he was, but only 57% on Sleeper. Now, it's a Sleeper, right? Only 57% of teams on Sleeper were starting him. So that means there's 43 people out there, 43% of people out there that you missing out, especially with the resurgence of my boy Kirk Cousins, Kirk O'Chains. I got no rhythm, y'all. Don't laugh at me. That ain't nice. But anyway, so Bijan, we're sticking with the Falcon side, okay? So Bijan, 19 carries, 93 yards, and a touchdown. So Bijan had a good game for you. Of course, 7 points shy of bonus points if you're in a league that has bonus points, things like that, which I do. I love leagues that have bonus points because that also changes my draft strategy as well, because I'm looking at receivers that consistently go over 100. I'm looking at because normally that's where you start your bonus points, is right at 100 for running backs and receivers. I'm looking at bonus points, 100 points or 100 yards for running backs, which, you see guys like Bijan, JT, CMC, Jahmyr Gibbs, like those guys, your top 5 elite guys get 100. But you're drafting those guys in the first round anyway, so it's nothing new there. But yeah, so Bijan getting 19 carries, but he also got 8 receptions on that with 82 yards. So that's really good. So Bijan is such a great asset to have on your team, especially if you're in Dynasty. Like, I don't think there's any amount of money or any amount of equity in Dynasty leagues that would make me trade away a Bijan or a JT or a Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, I would trade away Christian McCaffrey 100%. Like, after this season, once he wins you a championship, I would trade away Christian McCaffrey. But as far as a Bijan, a Jahmyr, or a JT, especially the way the offense is using JT going forward right now and going forward, to me, those guys are untradeable right now if I'm a contender. Now, obviously, if you're not a contender, but that's a show for the offseason here, which I'm so excited to be able to show you what we got in the pipeline coming down for the offseason with our Dynasty stuff. I mean, we're looking at film study, Dynasty rankings. So let me pull it up right here, because, like, man, our team that we're building here at Kingmaker Sports, man, these guys, like, I'm talking about Mick and Slayton. I'm so lucky to have these guys here that know ball, that have differing opinions, because I think it's kind of boring when everybody agrees on the same thing. Now, obviously, chalk stuff, that's going to be, everybody kind of agrees, on certain things. Like I was talking about the Bijans, the JTs, the Jahmyr Gibbs, CMCs, like everybody agrees on those guys, right? But here's a list of things that we have coming for you in our offseason, okay, while we wait on some more questions to come in. And this is no particular order. Each week, we're going to try and do a different thing for you, and possibly a couple different things. So here we go. So first we're going to do a rookie preview. All right. We're going to be looking at, with the bowl games and the college playoff and everything like that, we're going to be looking at these guys that are going to be coming out in the draft. Okay. They're going to be having their own offseason training, their own news. Hey, are they going back to school? Are they declaring for the draft? What are they doing? All right. So we're going to have a rookie preview. Okay. We're going to break down our top of each ones. Hey, these are guys that we should focus on for rookie drafts. All right. And also to how we're going to value those rookie picks. That's another one. So here we go. Rookie preview. We're going to go over some dynasty theory. Now, some of you out there may be new to dynasty fantasy football. That's okay. Dynasty football, I learned the hard way. Like, I won many, many championships in redraft. It got to the point where I was winning so much, it got a little boring. But then somebody reached out to me and said, hey, we're starting a dynasty league. Would you want to join? And I tell you what, if you don't know exactly what dynasty football is, you better subscribe and you better join us this offseason and learn, because we're going to be going over dynasty theory, how to draft, how to play, how to price out draft picks, how to assess players, how age comes into that. When do you think you're competing, when to not? So we're going to be doing a whole dynasty theory show on that. So if you want to play dynasty fantasy football, do not miss that. Hit that notification bell so that way you know, hey, when we go live, when new videos drop, and when that dynasty theory video drops as well. Also, I mean, when you subscribe, boom, you're entered for a chance to win that free jersey at 200 subscribers, which we'll be doing live on a Tuesday show. So next idea we're going to have is dynasty, stash, or slash. Okay. That's, hey, do I want to keep them on my team, or do I want to trade them away or drop them because they're just cluttering my team, and I'd rather have somebody else with more upside. Because sometimes in fantasy football, we can fall in love with the names of players, right? Happens all the times. Like exactly right now with Kyle Pitts, this big performance was what people that were sitting on the bubble with him, like, do I cut him? Do I trade him away? Like, what am I going to do with Kyle Pitts? And then boom, he comes out here and has you such a massive game. He has 3 touchdowns, and you're like, well, I guess I'm holding on to him now. And how are we evaluating that? So that's something that we're talking about with dynasty, stash, or slash. Pre-combine rankings. Okay. Now, combine is only a few months away. Okay. The combine tells you a lot in dynasty fantasy football about how we are going to evaluate players going forward. What do they look like when they're not around their team, their friends? Especially quarterbacks, receivers. That's massive for quarterbacks and receivers, okay? Because it's easy to throw to your best friend. But when you're throwing to somebody you've never played with before, maybe even spoken to in your whole life, then, that's what we got to go to right now. So Brandon Hallam said he's sitting in the stadium. Brandon, correct me. You're a Texans fan, correct? So about to get a dub. Yeah. Off season is really like dynasty season. So the good thing about, if you're a dynasty player and you play redraft, then the good thing is you have your redraft season, which is like, okay, yeah, I'm drafting my players, whatever like that. And then if you're dynasty, that's the culmination of the true dynasty season. Because real dynasty players, we're playing in the off season. Like we're talking about combine, the college playoff. How are they looking? We just saw Fernando Mendoza win the Heisman last night. So where is he going to go in the draft? What team is he going to? Things like that. That offseason for NFL is dynasty season, full-fledged. Love it. So pre-combine rankings. All right. Also, combine reactions. Okay. Like, I love the combine. I'm glued to that TV watching combine. Like, I got my notepad. I'm writing stuff down. Like, yeah, I get it. I can look after the fact and look at all the stats, but I don't know. I just love I love watching it live, writing, hey, what's that first 40 time? What's that second 40? What's the official 40 time? I got a lot of little notes and stuff. I got a whole spreadsheet and everything. That I'll show y'all. Like, I can break it down in different columns and categories, like how their hands look, how's their footwork look, all this stuff, even the linemen and stuff like that. I have all these columns and different categories that I break down, and I'll rank them 1 through 5. and then I'll do an accumulative score, and then that's how I come up with how I rank them, who had the best combine. All right. Now look, you can on film, like I will trust the film more than I will trust the combine, which you should as well, which leads us into our other thing is our film studies. What we're going to be doing is we will be selecting players, and it might not be necessarily the most popular players. We may get somebody that you might not know a lot about, and we'll break down that film on the show. We'll look at, hey, what situations were they in? Were they in on third downs if you're a running back, right? And then also, if you're a receiver, were you getting shadowed, or were they moving you around? Were you playing in slot? Were you playing on the outside? Like, what routes were you doing? Do you have a full route tree? What's your release like? Do they have good hands? Things like that, right? So these are the things that we'll be going over in our film study. So after the combine, a lot of players have pro days where they have another chance to showcase their talents and abilities, and we'll be looking at the pro day reactions. Next, we'll have NFL draft coverage. We'll have a live NFL draft coverage breaking down only fantasy relevant players. Okay. Now that also does mean that you can offensive linemen make an impact on fantasy. Let's talk video file sounds fun, bro. It's going to be so much fun. Like if you love deep diving into player film and just talking football theory, this is where you want to be this offseason, man. You don't want to miss it. There is no offseason for Kingmaker Sports at all. So our live NFL draft coverage, Thursday and Friday and most likely Saturday, live coverage and reaction, the whole round. Okay. So that is something you're going to want to pay attention to, because we're going to have many, many guests on here throughout that. It's going to be so much fun listening to, because the thing is like all the guests we're going to have on here, everybody's a fan of a different team. So you get their honest opinion of their team, and then also how they think a new player to a new team will react as well, and affect other players. So like a team like the Jets, or the Browns. The Browns always take a quarterback and they always ruin their career. But and then landing spots on that. Like we just talked about, how will this affect fantasy football with their landing spot? Again, the Browns and every quarterback they've ever drafted. And then after the draft is over, how are the rankings different? We did our pre-draft rankings, and then now how we're doing our post-draft rankings. So these things are going to impact it, because the combine, we got pre-combine rankings, post-combine rankings, pre-draft rankings, because things change between the combine and the draft. Like, did this person just speed his car down the street and get arrested? Like, how's that going to bump him? Things like that. Like, where do we think he could fall in the draft? Where do we think this person who's rising? Whose stock is rising and whose stock is dropping? So, we're having all these different aspects of rankings because we know that affects things, especially the draft. The biggest thing is after the NFL draft, which is usually around like April time, to be able to see, okay, where now we know their landing spot and free agency. All right. Free agency is another big one. Okay. Where these big name free agents are coming from. That's going to be a big one for us, is free agency. Okay. And then startup drafts. Like we talked about, if you're interested in Dynasty Fantasy Football, you say, hey, I'm really good at redraft. Let me try out Dynasty Fantasy Football and what's this all about, right? Because I feel like if you're top tier in redraft, then you have to go play Dynasty to see what you're made of, right? So my thing is, I love film study. I love building a team. I love trading. I love drafting. So I look, yeah, winning championships and everything is fun, but I enjoy the team building of it. Like, that's what I love. I love the drafting. So I feel like I'm pretty good at that. And hopefully you guys and girls out there can come along for that ride and be pretty decent as well. Okay. We got a question here from Ice Cold Jones. Hunt or Shakir? Bro, I'm going Shakir, man. gonna go Shakir. I think Buffalo is going to have their hands full today. I think that with Josh Allen, which congrats to Josh Allen. First off, can we do that? Can we congratulate Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld on their expecting their first child? That's pretty cool. But the Chiefs playing the Chargers, that should be a decent game. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is going to pass the ball more. The Chargers defense is kind of middling range against running backs. So they're not great at stopping the run, but they're not bad at it either. So, but I just feel like the Chargers are going to put up enough points that they're going to be able to keep Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball as opposed to running it with Kareem Hunt. Because Hunt's thing is like you got to feed him more. So I'm going to go with Khalil Shakir on this one, man, for you. Mick says the free agent running back class is really, really good this year. So I cannot wait to highlight this free agent running back class. So make sure that you subscribe. Not only you have to subscribe at Kingmaker Sports on YouTube, not only just to be able to see about the free agent class and all these other shows, which I still have some more to outline, but also to be able to get a free jersey, man. Like, who wouldn't want a free jersey? Look, that's all you got to do. And it'll be a jersey of your choice. Not a problem. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to at Kingmaker Sports on YouTube channel to do that. Ice cold says the snow in Buffalo is crazy. I mean, good thing you're ice cold, baby. Dude, man, Buffalo, them full. I love watching videos of the fans out there because I think it's Buffalo and Green Bay. Like, they get the fans to come in there and help like scrape the snow. I think that's awesome. Like, the one dude was like had a whole tunnel, like a snow slope or a slide or whatever, all the way down. Like, I guess they shovel it all to the aisle and then they go down and I guess they scoop it up somehow or whatever. But I love watching those. Like, them people, they're out there living their best life. Like, no shirt on, just out there in the snow, loving it. Like, you got Bill's Mafia out there. Enjoy that snow, man, if you're out there. But yeah, so before we get into ins and outs, got a few more things. So post-draft rankings, startup drafts, okay? Because that right there can set the stage for you as your startup draft in Dynasty. And then last but not least, we will get into our rookie mock drafts. So we are probably going to be doing so many rookie mock drafts. And then also after rookie mock drafts, we'll transition back into redraft and get you ready for those redrafts about like August, September, things like that. So those are the shows you have to look forward to in what we call the off season, which is really Dynasty season. So yeah, so definitely hit that notification bell and come back for those if you want to learn more about how we break down these players. How do we know so much about these players? It's because we're actually putting the time in for you, myself, Mick, and Slayton out here trying to make everybody out there champions and get y'all some nice hardware to put on those fingers or around your waist if you're doing a belt or a trophy. So, but yeah, we love that. That's our favorite time of year. So some ins and outs right now. Some declared outs that we know. We talked about Chris Rodriguez with Washington, and so you're firing up JCM. I think JCM is going to be really good today. Also with Nick Chubb being out, what does that mean for that running back? That backfield right there with Woody Marks, right? Duval TV says, Duval. Hey, hopefully, like, tell me, Duval TV, like, how much flack did y'all get of a Liam Cohen with that weird, like, Duval? Like, that was crazy to me. How did no one say, hey, okay, look, this is our culture here. This is how you have to say this. Like, how did y'all handle that, man? I want to know, because when I saw that, I'm like, they set that homie up for failure right there. But hey, you know what? As long as you keep winning games, it don't matter. I guess he can say it however he wants to. But yeah, Duval TV. I'm curious, like how that went over actually in Duval. I don't know if you're actually in Duval or not, but how that went over with the Jags community and everything like that. Man, you guys are looking really good. I know on the boys over at Third and Teal, whenever I join them, like I've told them plenty of times, like I'm a massive Trevor Lawrence fan. We see now that he's not the next coming of Andrew Luck or what, Peyton Manning or whatever, that generational guy. But then again, he's had a tough run of it for sure. And then I'm a fan of Travis Etienne. They were dogging on me because they were telling me over there, Isaiah was over there telling me about how, like, oh, Basil Tootin and even Mick too, like, which don't get me wrong, Basil Tootin is quality guy, but Travis Etienne is easily still the best running back on that team. But I remember it was all Tank Bigsby this, Tank Bigsby that. That didn't go too well. Tank Bigsby, they sent that boy to Philadelphia to return kicks, not even to like be in the backfield until here recently. But yeah, so I was like big on Travis Etienne, and I still believe that Trevor Lawrence's best football is ahead of him. I like that Liam Cohen is working out there. So, but yeah. So again, if you want a free jersey, we're at 200 subscribers on the @Kingmaker Sports YouTube channel. As you see at the bottom on the ticker, we're doing a free giveaway to one subscriber. We're doing a live drawing on our Tuesday show. So back to our outs. All right, Quentin Johnson out. So big game McConkey coming in. We'll see. I think so. I think Lab McConkey's going to have a massive game right here, especially with Amarion Hampton here. I think they're going to have to pull out all the stops against the Chiefs and say, all right, Aronde Gadsden, come on, Rook, it's time to shine. Somebody that I really liked. I loved his film. I think Aronde Gadsden is really good. So I'm looking for the Chargers to put up a bunch of yards. I'm looking for the Chiefs to put up a bunch of yards. I think this is going to be a shootout. But they've got Kansas City winning it. I think Kansas City's winning it by a touchdown. From what like NFL, ESPN, all like kind of the betting things that I've seen, they've got Kansas City winning this one. But I don't know, man. Chargers look really good. I love me some Arian Hampton. I love me Aronde Gadsden, and I love me little Lab McConkey, dude. But yeah, with QJ out, I think it's going to be a big Lab McConkey game. Justin Herbert's going to be slinging the ball everywhere. So, that's a fun one too. I can't wait to get to Bengals Ravens. But Rashad Bateman, he's out. Okay. Dylan Sampson out. So of course, more Quentin Johnson. Sorry, I just talked about it. More Quinshon Judkins. Quinshon Judkins should have a big game. I'm really happy at how he's come out after all the stuff that he dealt with in the offseason and after the draft and things like that. Just coming out, just kind of putting all the noise behind him and just going out and playing good football. So I think we're going to have a lot of good seasons of Quentin. There I go again, Quentin Johnson, of Quinshon Judkins, the other QJ out there in Cleveland. Staying with Cleveland, though, David Njoku, old Swoleness, he's out today. So Harold Fannin Jr., another tight end that I really liked as a rookie this year. He's looking pretty good too. Fannin should do really well today with Shedeur Sanders continuing to be the quarterback going forward in Cleveland. So good. I mean, good for Shedeur, getting his opportunity, especially how crazy everything was for him, like with the draft, like falling so much. Like he was projected to be a first-round guy in Cleveland and ended up being a fifth-round guy in Cleveland. So it's like, good golly, man. So T. Higgins is out. He still has that concussion. So against the Ravens, though, look for Andre Iosivas and T. Higgins. I mean, excuse me, Jamar Chase. This could be a massive Jamar Chase game. The Ravens defense is not the same one we're used to. It's weird, man. It's like a shell of itself from what we're used to seeing from the Ravens defense, But Jamar Chase should have a massive game with Joe Burrow being healthy another week, from his injury. So, again, this is a Q&A. So if you have any roster questions about your lineups this week or just general football questions, let's talk about it. Post your comments in the comments section, and let's talk about it. We'll feature it here and get to talking. Marvin Harrison Jr. is out with a heel injury still. So what's that mean for Michael Wilson? Up. Arrows up. Obviously, Trey McBride. Arrows up. Trey McBride, oh my God, what a season Trey McBride is having, man. It's insane. So yeah, that's our outs right now. I'm still waiting on more information to come in about any other, like maybe healthy scratches, late declares, things like that. Josh Jacobs, if you're worried about him, his knee, he is expected to play versus the Broncos. Okay. So you can go ahead and fire up Josh Jacobs with a little bit of caution. Now, I'm sure they're going to give me an old cortisone shot in the knee. We don't really talk about that. But anyways, so Christian McCaffrey is supposed to be good to go. I don't know how much they're going to use him, but I would still fire up Ricky Pearsall. We had that question come in earlier. I'd still fire up Ricky Pearsall. But Christian McCaffrey probably okay. Looking at Devon Achane, okay? So I know this is a Monday game. We don't have much to worry about with Achane. He's pretty much the only good thing about that offense, man. Which sucks because I like Jalen Waddle, but Devon Achane is the only hope they have on this offense. There's not really much else going on there. They're going to have to figure something out. I think that Mike McDaniel is probably going to get fired on what the NFL calls Black Monday, which is the Monday after Week 18, where all the coaches that are on the hot seat or whatever, they make those decisions. Hey, are we letting them go? Are we not? What are we doing here? I think Mike McDaniel is an amazing offensive coordinator. He's a great mind for offense. So looking at what the Dolphins are going to do, maybe bringing in another quarterback. Could Fernando Mendoza go to the Dolphins? Don't know. We'll see. How are they feeling about Tua? Can't be good. You cannot be feeling too good about Tua Tagovailoa. It's just not great. But I think we have to talk about something though. The big elephant in the room. And I did. That's not a fat joke on this guy. Okay. Father Time, Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is back in the NFL, you guys. I know this is a massive story. It's been going on all week. The Colts, they have signed Phillip Rivers back to the team. Yes, he's on the practice squad, but he is starting over the rookie Riley Leonard, who had a really good showing last week, though. So I thought that was kind of weird that they were so quick to kind of give up on Riley Leonard, but I get it. The Colts in their position, they're still fighting for a playoff spot. So I get it. Why you bring in a veteran, but there were a lot of other options out there. It looks like they reached out to Ryan Tannehill. He said no. They reached out to Sam Ehlinger, who was their former draft pick from Texas, who now is on the practice squad for the Broncos. So a practice squad guy says, no, I don't want to sign with you and be your starting quarterback. I like where I'm at. First off, yeah, okay, you have a better team over there and a better head coach in Sean Payton, but what kind of idiot gives up a starting job? Now, there's a league minimum for active roster. So not only did he give a starting job, but he gave up like a big paycheck. And then they reached out to Andrew Luck, which that was so stupid. That Andrew Luck is scrawny, bro. Like, he's going to get hurt. Plus, he's got a good gig over there in Stanford. He ain't worried about that. I mean, he's over there living his best life, reading books, like throwing practice balls. But yeah, so Phillip Rivers back in Indianapolis. This is going to be exciting to see. Look, as a Colts fan, I'm not crazy about this. I don't have any expectations. I have no expectations for Phillip Rivers. So if you do, like, I love your optimism. I think Phillip Rivers does bring the experience to the Colts over Riley Leonard and even over Daniel Jones. But what are we thinking his mobility is going to be? And his throwing motion has always been weird to me. Like that kind of shot put like throw that he does. I've never understood that throw. But with that being said, I think this is going to be a massive, massive, massive game for Tyler Warren. Okay. And a massive, massive, massive game for Jonathan Taylor. So with that said, and the reason why I say that is because if you do not have a strong arm, you will be looking to keep it short. Okay. The Seattle defense gives up the 7th fewest fantasy points to the running back position. Okay. So they're pretty good against the running back. All right. But against tight ends, Seattle ain't bad, bro. They're kind of in the same boat. They give up the 2nd most fantasy points. Okay. So Tyler Warren should have a massive game. I still believe that Jonathan Taylor can have a massive game if Phillip Rivers dumps it off. Kind of same way Ben Roethlisberger did when Najee Harris came in. Ben was at the last year of his career, and Najee was the rookie coming in out of Alabama. So I think that this could be good for could be good for Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren, who are both like short yardage threats right there. And then, of course, we know what Jonathan Taylor can do. He can take anything to the house, like 40, 50, 60 yards. He can do whatever he wants to do at will almost. Alvin Kamara ruled out again for week 15. So what does that mean for Devin Neal? That means fire up Devin Neal. I like Devin Neal. I thought Devin Neal looked really, really good coming out of Kansas. I still do. I liked his film. I really enjoyed his film. I think he's so shifty. I'm excited to see what the Saints do going forward with Devin Neal. Are they going to feature him? Are they going to bring another guy in? I know there's a couple running backs that are coming out in the draft. I don't know how early they'll go because it's not like we have a Travion Henderson and a Quinshon Judkins. Like we don't have that running back class that we had this year coming out next year. So Devin Neal could be safe for next year. So if you're in Dynasty and you want to look for a good little upside running back that's not going to cost you much, go get Devin Neal and stash him on your taxi if you still have that availability, if you're in a league where you don't have a trade deadline or anything like that. So let's look at some matchups, okay? We got some injuries, things like that. So we are looking first at the Browns at the Bears. Okay. So Browns at the Bears. So don't forget, drop your roster questions in the comments and we'll talk about them. And, see if you're having any issues, a question, who do I start? Who's got the most upside, things like that. I know it helps me a lot. I've got a couple people that I trust, I have confidence in. I'll talk it out with them. And usually they really don't usually have to say anything. Usually by the time I'm done, I've figured it out. So put it here. Let's talk about it. And then hopefully we'll figure it out if you got any questions. Or if you have any comments about the league or anything like that. But yeah, let me know in the comments. So you know what? First, let's start with the Cardinals and Texans. All right, they're playing in Houston. All right, I think Brandon Hallam, who's a loyal viewer, loyal listener here, he's at the game. So actually, Brandon, if you're still watching, brother, how are you feeling about the Cardinals coming in? Jacoby Brissett. Now I know the Cardinals are 3-10. Okay, I get it, but Jacoby Brissett's been just chunking the ball, man. Y'all gonna keep Michael Wilson contained or what? Because that Texans defense is elite, man. Like if the Texans offense looked like good, this might be one of my favorites to win the AFC Championship and go to the Super Bowl. Because the defense is just insane. I think Woody Marks and Nico Collins are going to have good games today. Jacoby Brissett's put up almost 2,500 yards this season so far, and he's coming in relief to Kyler Murray. They've already shut down Kyler Murray for the whole season, so you're not going to have to worry about that. You're actually going to have a quarterback that can throw the ball in Jacoby Brissett. I stated I don't like Kyler Murray. I don't think that he's a good quarterback. I don't like his accuracy. I think that when he's on the field, he hurts the rest of the offense because he's very greedy with the ball. So I just don't think he's good at playing the quarterback position. But anyways, so we know that Trey McBride's going to eat. Michael Wilson, I can't say he's not going to do good because he's done well. But the Texans defense is nasty. So Brissett is going to be pressured a lot, a whole lot. Okay. I can't say fire up Trey McBride because you're doing that anyway. I mean, that would be the stupidest thing to do to not play Trey McBride. He's the best tight end in football right now, like by far too. So, all right, moving down. Browns, Bears. All right, Browns are traveling to Chicago to Soldier Field, playing the Bears. The Bears. Where are my Bears fans at? Let me know who your favorite Bear of your lifetime is, because it's easy to say like Walter Payton, right? But of your lifetime, let's check that out. I love talking to people about their team and talking about, hey, in your lifetime, what are some of your favorite and the things that you liked and the things you disliked. So this is the 9-4 Bears at home, though it's just cold. It doesn't look like it's going to be snowing or anything like that. It's just going to be cold, man. And Chicago's windy. I mean, it's the windy city. But with that, we are gonna have Roma Dunze today. Okay. So Roma Dunze is active. So you're tempering expectations on Luther Burden, but they like Luther Burden. So this could actually be a good all-around game. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a good game for you. I think he's going to put up some points. But as far as the Browns, I think it's pretty much just Quinshon Judkins and then Harold Fannin. They're going to be the ones, if Shedeur has decent numbers, it's going to be because of Harold Fannin and Quinshon Judkins. I think Quinshon Judkins' hands are kind of underrated, really. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a little underrated. And then Ravens-Bengals. I think the Bengals are winning this game, and I think it's because Joe Burrow is just going to be just chunking it, even with T. Higgins out. We saw what Andre Iosivas, I think is how you pronounce his name. We saw what he could do in a fill-in role. Dude runs amazing routes. And then, of course, what is there else to say about Jamar Chase? Jamar Chase is, like, amazing. He's, like, the best receiver in football right now, for my money. I mean, you may think something else. That's fine. Let me know who is your favorite receiver. Like, if you could start a franchise, what's the first receiver you would have on your team? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious to know about that because there's some real good ones out there, man. Real good ones. Let me know down there. But Lamar Jackson should have a game here. I don't think Mark Henry, man. Sorry, I saw Mark Henry last night on John Cena's last match. So kudos to him. But Derrick Henry. I don't think Derrick Henry's going to have much of a game today, other than the fact that the Bengals defense sucks. They suck so bad. They are not good on defense. But thank you for giving us Lou Anarumo in Indianapolis. That's worked out well. So maybe y'all couldn't give him any talent to work with. Maybe it was you. That's the breakup. Oh, it's me. It's not you. In this case, it was the Bengals, not Lou Anarumo. But moving on. So Jamar Chase, big game. Derrick Henry, I'm not expecting more than like 13 yards and 13 yards, 13 points. And he'll probably get a touchdown, but I'm not like too crazy about Derrick Henry in this kind of environment. It's going to be like 10 degrees is what the forecast shows. But we'll see. But I think Joe Burrow is going to have a pretty good game. I think the Bengals are going to come out on top. Chargers, Chiefs. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. You're going to see a lot of excitement out of this game. So high-scoring game means lots of fantasy points. Give me all the fantasy points on this one. Justin Herbert. What's crazy is the Chiefs are 6-7, and it's week 15. That's crazy. Well, you know, Patrick Mahomes is crying. So I think Travis Kelce's going to have a massive game this week. Okay. They're going to do a lot of short yardage stuff. I think they're going to be looking at Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice. But here's my bold prediction for this one. Maybe it's not that bold, but I think Worthy is going to get a deep touchdown. I think they're going to hit all the underneath stuff so much that coverage is going to get soft and relaxed, and then Worthy's going to burn them over top for one. I feel like that's going to happen in this one. But I'm looking for the Chargers to come out on top on this game, even though they are playing Arrowhead. I get it. It's going to be super cold, 17 degrees. I get it. It's going to be cold. But that's where I'm at on that matchup, Chargers at the Chiefs. So next matchup, we have the Bills, the reigning MVP, Josh Allen, and the Bills are traveling all the way so many miles to Foxborough, Massachusetts to play the Patriots. That's a joke if you didn't pick up on that. They're really close. So, but yeah, so Josh Allen, the reigning MVP, and his Bills, pretty much just James Cook. That's it. That's your Bills offense. Because they haven't figured out how to use Dalton Kincaid. You've got Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, two really good tight ends. They forgot their own team. Keon Coleman, who I've read reports of him being kind of a turd, but I don't know. They got to get him involved. I think he's really talented, but you got to use him first off. But Khalil Shakir, really good slot receiver. But I think the Bills are going to take this game against the Patriots. But for the Patriots, one player in particular, probably not a surprise here. If you're a loyal viewer to the show, you know who I like in this game. I like TreVeyon Henderson. I think TreVeyon Henderson is the best weapon on that offense. He can do everything. I'm looking for TreVeyon Henderson to have a massive game. So fire you up some Hendo this week. He's going to do well. Even in the snow, man, if you remember LaShawn McCoy in the snow, I'm not saying Hendo is LaShawn McCoy, but I'm not saying he's not. I love me some Hendo, man. And I think in the snow, this is going to be good, man. This is going to be real good. Especially at home. He's got the fan support. Fire up TreVeyon Henderson and Drake May in this one for sure. Moving on next, we've got Washington traveling to New Jersey to play the Giants. To play Big Blue over there. The G-Men. This is pretty. Neither one of these teams want to win. I think Washington is going to win with authority. The Giants, it would actually be better for the Giants to lose. Kind of like you have nothing to play. Neither one of these teams really have anything to play for. But the Giants, you need the draft picks more than you need. You need the high draft pick more than you need to win this game. For players, I get it, man. Like I'm a former competitor. I get it. You want to win. But you also want to build your team as well. Go out there, play your best. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But the 2-11 Giants playing the 3-10 Washington Commanders. This could be a fun game just because you don't know what's going to happen. I think Jaden Daniels is going to just tear it up. I think Jaden Daniels is going to go nuclear right now. Oh, man, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Fine job as always, Justin. But I think Jaden Daniels is going to have a great game. He's got a Terry McLaurin, Debo Samuel, JCM, who Cliff Kingsbury really likes, man. So I think that's something to look forward to. Give me Washington and give me all the Jaden Daniels today. Give me all the Jaden Daniels. Barring injury, obviously you can't foresee that stuff, So hopefully everybody stays healthy. I never want to see anybody get hurt. Next, we got Raiders traveling to Philly to play the defending world champion Philadelphia Eagles. All right, fly, Eagles, fly. Raiders, again, they have nothing to play for. Man, their team's just horrible, man. I'm sorry. If you're a Raiders fan, yeah, hopefully you understand and made peace with that. But I do think better days are ahead for the Raiders. Everything looked good. You signed Geno Smith, who had a great season in Seattle. You drafted Ashton Genty. You had Jacoby Myers. Like you had some things going for you. You got elite tight end Brock Bowers. So Brock Bowers. I mean, that's really the only thing right now. I can't confidently say Ashton Genty so much, but obviously, you're firing up Brock Bowers. That's never an issue there. But for Eagles against the Raiders, I mean, Saquon's going to run, but I think they're going to get such a lead early that you might not see Saquon in the fourth quarter. So go ahead and fire up all your Eagles players. That's not a problem. Fire them all up. Jets, Jaguars. This is another game where it's like, where'd the Jaguars come from with this? They started hot and then they're still like looking good. Even at 9-4, like that's fine. Like I don't think that's a problem. They're first in the AFC South right now, so they have a lot to maintain. They're kind of getting a punt this week with the Jets because the Jets, their organization's horrible, which sucks because I love their tight end, their rookie tight end Mason Taylor. I love their running back Breece Hall. I mean, that's it. Outside of that, like those are the only two players that I really like on the Jets, man. You're going to get garbage time out of Adonai Mitchell, John Mechie. You're going to get that stuff there, but the Jaguars should dominate this game early and put them to bed quickly. The Jaguars, look for Trevor Lawrence to just tear it up, man. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have a day. The Jets don't have a guy like Sauce Gardner anymore. They traded him to the Colts for 2 first-round picks. So their secondary is weak. So look for all the Jaguars offensive players, Brian Thomas Jr., Brenton Strange, Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence. Look for those guys to just have a day. So I am confident firing up all of those guys today in your round 1 playoffs. Next, let's bump to the 3:00 slate of games. Okay. We got the Packers traveling to Denver to play the Broncos. So playing in Denver is hard because of the altitude and things like that, but the cold isn't going to be a problem. It's not cold today in Denver. It's the forecast shows 61 degrees and partly sunny. So this is like a summer day in Denver, but this should be a really, really good game, everybody. So if you have any players in these matchups, I think you can confidently go ahead and fire up Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is going to throw well, and I think that Bo Nix is going to do well. Okay, and then get you some Cortland Sutton. Real quick, it's 12:00. I'll close you out. Lions playing in LA. That should be massive. Fire up every player from both sides of the ball. Just go ahead and do that. This should be stupid amount of points on this game. I'm watching this one for sure. Panthers, Saints, pass. Titans, 49ers. I mean, you're playing CMC. He's play CMC and Ricky Pearsall and Kittle. I think you're good there. Titans have nothing to play for. They benefit more from losing right now. Vikings, Cowboys. I think that could be a good game. Outside of JJ McCarthy, I think fire up all your Cowboys players. And then Dolphins, Steelers. I don't know how the Dolphins are 6-7. Honestly, don't. But I still think Mike McDaniel gets fired. But Devon Achane is the only player on the Dolphins that I trust in this matchup. And then for the Steelers, I mean, your DK Metcalfs, you're playing your stars on that team, and that's it. Other than that, so good luck to everybody. Before you head out, look at the bottom at Kingmaker Sports. Subscribe so you get a free jersey. We'll draw that live here on the show. Get your information and mail that out to you as a way of us saying thank you for being a part of this ride. This is round one. All right, round one of the fantasy playoffs 2025. Let's go get this win. I'll see you back here on Tuesday and let me know how you did. So without any further ado, thank you for joining me, and I will see you on Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Good luck, everybody.